We'd like to welcome Andrew Stuart and John Bongiorno, two legends in real estate in Melbourne, Australia. We're so happy to have you guys.
Great to be here.
Good
Thank
to
you.
be here, guys.
We've got a lot to talk about, so let's get right to it. As business owners in Australia, you probably have your eye on the currency market.
Absolutely, yeah. It's changed a little bit in the last 12 months or so.
It's amazing that a falling currency could actually create big gains for some people, but that's exactly the way it is here in Aspen.
Exactly. A lot of astute Australians bought property back a few years ago when your property values were down and our Australian dollar was high, so they've actually had a double windfall.
For instance, if somebody paid $1 million for a property in Aspen at the peak of the Australian dollar, it would be about $950,000.
That's right.
Currently, that $1 million would equal 1.4 million Australian dollars, and that's just the currency play. That has no appreciation gains.
That's right. It's been a great windfall for a lot of Australians over here in Aspen, and it's always been popular for Australians to invest over here.
And I guess also they've rented them out as well, so they've had the rental yield as well.
Right, exactly.
So it's been a good go for them.
If an Aussie bought property in 2011, specifically a single family home in Aspen, with the appreciation and the currency, they have doubled their money.
Exactly. That's right.
Why did we do that, Jack?
Yes, why didn't
We
you
should
do
have,
that?
yeah. We've been coming
We
here
should have
long
done
enough,
that.
yeah.
You guys know a lot of property owners here in Aspen, though, so
Yes,
is
we
this
do.
something they're talking about?
Oh, absolutely. A lot of Australians back home are so glad that they did invest over in Aspen because, you know, as Andrew mentioned, it's not only the windfall that they've had in terms of the capital gain, it's also the great returns that they've enjoyed.
You know, it's a great time to cash out or trade up here in Aspen. If an Aussie has a large gain and they take it back to Australia, what kind of ramifications do they see?
Well, they've got a lot of money to spend, and they can. I guess you're probably referring to the tax angle.
Right.
I don't know, Jack. That's your area, Jack. Tax.
There'd be some, I'd say that there'd be some capital gains issues probably in America and in Australia.
Okay.
So part of it is it's Jack and John Bongiorno. He goes by both.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah, just to confuse things.
Yeah, so there are a lot of different things that people could do. I mean, they could take a bit of the cash and reduce their risk here, take it back to Australia, reinvest here, either in buying up or getting a smaller property. And a really clever way to do that is to finance property here. You know, a lot of
Yeah.
people, foreigners, don't typically look into that, but then you only have the down payment at risk, and you have the down payment working for you.
That's right. Look, most of the Australians that I know actually want to reinvest back here in Aspen, want to buy other investment properties.
Good. Well, they know who to call, right?
Exactly.
Well, we got a buddy who bought one in Aspen Square, paid very little for it, and on the strength of what he was doing there, he bought one opposite north of Nell.
Oh, wow. Good.
And he's doing pretty well,
Good.
and renting them out for pretty good yield as well.
And he gets to use it.
And he gets to use
Exactly,
it 4
yeah.
weeks a year.
And the best news is that the core is what has just been on fire over the last couple of years. So it's a very, very wise investment to be there.
That's right.
You know, that's some great site. Another interesting aspect of your market is that you sell primarily auction. And you two are some of Australia's leading real estate auctioneers. So let's take a look at Andrew in action.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. If I could please have your attention. My name's Andrew Stewart. If you want the property, you will have to bid for it. Don't miss it. At $1,010,000, at $1,040,000, you know it's worth more than this. 50, at $1,050,000. Are you prepared to miss the property? And 60. Will you make it 70 now? Would you like to round me off at 1.1 perhaps? And at 1.1 now, and maybe 5 more at 1,105,000. And don't miss an opportunity like this. Don't miss it because it is fabulous real estate. At $1,110,000, at $1,120,000 bid. One more if you like. At $1,121,000, and 2, and 3, and 4. One more for luck, it's still not sold. You still got the opportunity. You're still here. I'm bid $1,141,000. We're selling it. First call. Are you all done? Second call. All silent. No further bidding. Sold.
That's a great clip. There's a lot of energy. It's very exciting at
Thank
an
you very
auction.
much.
How did auctioning property come about in your market?
I think it came about and started probably back in the late 70s when the strength of demand to move from the outer parts of Melbourne inner city created this incredible demand, and people tended not to want to sell. So we felt that it was pretty crazy just to put a house up for sale and sell in a week when you had 5 people who wanted to buy them. So you said, well, let's let competition take over here.
Yeah.
And so the auction was the way to go, and it took on. When I remember walking to homes probably in the mid 70s, late 70s, and trying to convince somebody to sell their home by auction. What? So no, I'll just stick on the market privately, thanks. And at that particular time, owners used to pay the advertising also associated with the marketing of the home. So it, not too many people wanted to go down that track.
Yeah, it would take too long,
Well,
right? And they'd be
no, it was
subject
just
to
too
a-
expensive. You know, it was too expensive to spend about, at that time, it was about $5,000 to sell to advertise their home. 4 weeks, but in 4 weeks' time, they probably got a result. Good, bad, or indifferent, they got a result. But then now, if you walk into a person's home and say, "How do you want to market it?" or they just assume it's auction. You know,
Right.
you don't have to sell that
Right.
that process. In fact, he sold my house during the year at auction.
And how did it go?
Yeah, it was terrific. It was a great campaign.
Oh, went well, did it, Jack?
I think it went very well, Andrew. What do you think?
I thought it went very well, Jack. Yes. No, it was.
He's
no,
a very
no,
satisfied customer.
I'm
Yeah.
a satisfied customer. We got a great result. Yeah.
Walk us through the
Can we mention the
steps.
price, by the way?
Sure.
Yeah, $8.5 million. So it was
Wow.
a
Yeah,
great
well, I don't think
result.
the tax man knows that yet, Jack.
Yeah,
So-
well, it's only here in Aspen.
Is that in
so-
Turak?
yeah, it was in Turak, yeah.
So walk
Track.
us through, why was it a successful auction? What makes a successful auction?
Andrew's home was a property that a lot of people wanted to buy. So as Andrew mentioned before, where we have demand that outstrips the supply, you actually get a better result by taking the property through to an auction. So you have people compete for the property, a number of people compete for the property, and that's what happened in Andrew's case. And it was a great property. It was, you know, a beautiful family home in one of Melbourne's premier positions, and there was more demand than obviously the supply. So
And did the price exceed what you were
Yeah.
aiming for?
Oh, Jack, Jack, they told me before because I was about to go and buy a property, a farm down the coast, and they gave me an indication of price, and I got a fair bit more than what he said.
Wow, that's
So it was good.
fantastic.
But when you take the price tag off it. With auctions one way, we also have this other method of marketing now creeping into our marketplace. It's called an expression of interest, where it's sort of similar to an auction, but you don't actually have an auction at the end of it. It's a bit like a raffle, isn't it, Jack?
well, again,
you do
we
this.
don't put a price on the property. We just market it out to the public, and we ask for expressions of interest. And a similar case to Andrew's was a property that we had just before Christmas, where we had 8 buyers that wanted to buy the property, and all putting expressions of interest. So then we basically auctioned the property off to the 8 people that wanted to buy the property, and exceeded the vendor's expectations substantially. So it was great.
That's fantastic.
Yeah.
What a well-timed trip you guys had. We've had incredible snow,
Oh, amazing.
and Australia Day's coming up.
Are you going to
Oh,
be
yeah,
here
where
for
are we
our
going?
Yes, absolutely. Yeah.
Good,
26th
good,
of January.
Yes,
I've
it's a
got it.
big deal here.
Is it a big drink up at Cloud 9, I think?
Yes, I think it's a big drink up at Cloud 9.
we might see if we can get there, right, Jack?
I think we'll be able to make it. Yeah.
Well, thanks so much for joining us. We really appreciate every
Great
year
to be
we
here,
have
guys.
you
We
guys
love
on.
it.
It's wonderful to hear what's going on there and to compare our markets.
Yeah.
It's really great.
Thanks for having us.
Absolutely.